Hello and welcome. It took 11 days for the Congress leadership to announce the name of Mr. V.D. Satheesan as the new Kerala Chief Minister, but it seems to have been well worth it because there is celebration in Kerala, and not just the Congress and its alliance partners, but even critics like the BJP or other opposition parties seem to be welcoming Mr. Satheesan's appointment. I have with me Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, someone who is a senior Congress leader, of course, from Karnataka, but someone who was in charge of the campaign, media campaign in Kerala. Thank you, Mr. Brijesh, for joining us. When we traveled across Kerala, there is so much of Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan and his campaigning all over the place. At least the first 1 month or after the announcement of elections, uh, was the campaigning of the LDF, the very very visible campaigning of the LDF, something that you thought is going to be a challenge for your party, which had been, of course, sitting in the opposition for 10 years there.
See, the first thing is, Umaji, that 10 years anti-incumbency was definitely existed. But also there were certain cross sections of the people, and I must be very frank today to tell you that, some areas, the CPM and Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan had done quite well, right? So the idea was to navigate through all of that and also to be able uh, to tap on the kind of anger which was there at certain aspects of misgovernance and certain other issues. So I think this was something which we were very successful at. One, and two is the fact that we presented a very united face because the CPM had consistently been sending a message that look, there are 16 factions within the Kerala Congress, and that this is a divided house, and so on and so forth. So I think the first, thing that Rahulji did, along with Priyanka ji, was to sit along with all the contenders and let them give them a feeling that look, this was our united campaign, and this was not some kind of a campaign which was going to be done independently by any of you. So I think this worked a lot because the CPM's narrative that we are a divided house and that there are 16 aspirants to chief ministership and all that, that took a big hit thanks to the fact that all the leaders were speaking the very same language and were conveying the very same message. So I think this was a very important thing that we were able to manage to do in the Indian National Congress.
In the run up to the elections, that is all right. But this is something that did play out after the elections, and the 11 days has led to a lot of, should I say, one journalist put it, that it actually led to a toxic environment in Kerala. So, this is something that the Congress knew was, I mean, anyone traveling in Kerala would have seen the 10 years of anti incumbency is going to work there, and the UDF did have the clear edge. And there are multiple contenders. Why couldn't this have been dealt with earlier so that something like this would not be unfolding in the last 10 to 11 days?
See, there have been instances where the BJP has taken far longer to have chief ministers appointed. I think even the appointment of the Karnataka cabinet took a large amount of time. I think over 30 days to have ministers in Karnataka. Of course, there was also Yediyurappa, but and then even in the instance of Yogi Adityanath being appointed as chief minister, the BJP took an extended period of time. I think it was far beyond the 10 days which you are now specifying. So political parties do take time, and I don't blame a political party for taking time because I think it's very essential to take the views of all the stakeholders in the matter and to speak to each one of them individually and give them all a sense of ownership of the decision that is eventually going to be made. And today,
All
you know,
that
you
point is well taken. What I'm saying is, you knew that there was going to be a battle for the chief minister's chair. There were multiple contenders. I remember Ramesh Chennithala saying, "What is wrong if you have so much of talent in the party that there is competition?" All right, but you knew this was coming, and you had lessons to learn from a Karnataka and a Rajasthan. Where those lessons actually learned? Did that play out the way it played out? It looked like you could be very much in a similar situation.
like they say, there I durasta hai. I think the decision has been welcomed by all. Everybody's, uh, taken the ownership of this decision. Everybody is actively working for the Congress party. I think that says a lot. It's not, some kind of unilateral decision which the High Command has taken and everybody is resentful of that. That's not the situation here. When this decision was taken, everybody is welcoming, everybody is speaking in favor of it. So every single person, whether one was an aspirant, one was not an aspirant. So I think this is a very positive takeaway from this entire, circumstances.
I would agree with you that yes, across sections we have seen Mr. V.D. Satheesan's name, being named as chief minister. That is something that's been welcomed. But what happened in the last 11 days was that multiple voices started speaking, and there has been criticism that bodies like Jamaat seem to suggest that it is their agenda that is playing out, and that leads to uh, suspicion within communities, isn't it? You have different groups like the NSS and others also now speaking out, saying that they should not be the ones who are influencing somebody, the IUML should not get the education portfolio, and so on and so forth. That is something that you could have avoided if you had made the naming much earlier.
You see, there are various people in any state and in any organizational setup who are always wanting to fish in troubled waters, right? So, and of course, you can't say that the entirety of Karnataka, Kerala, would be very happy to have Mr. Satheesan as chief minister, and vice versa in the instance of other people. So there are certain elements clearly wanting to fish in troubled waters, and they see that look, the Congress party is taking a bit of time, so let's set our own narrative in place. So this can be capitalized upon later. So there are various vested interests in every state, but ultimately, when this final decision has been taken, I think everybody is quiet and everybody accepts this decision as a good one and a fair one. And I think this is certain actions don't need words to kind of sell them. So I think this was one such decision the High Command has taken, which everybody is very happy with.
Mr. Ramesh Chennithala, of course, a very senior leader with a lot of experience and someone who could have been chief minister as well. Uh, he obviously has already indicated that he will not be joining the cabinet. Is that something that Mr. Satheesan is going to face? Because it did appear that a majority of the MLAs were supporting Mr. Kesri Venugopal. There is Mr. Ramesh Chennithala, who's such a senior leader. Dealing with these people when he's talking about team building, is that going to be a challenge?
No, I don't know where you get those figures from because I honestly don't know how many MLAs supported whom. Of course, there was a
It's a
story
very
which appeared
viral
in the
picture
news.
that Mr. Mukul Wasnik was carrying that
No,
that seemed to
that,
indicate
that
that he
that
was
is on
majority
assumption
supporter.
that piece of paper is the right contains the right number of MLAs, and then subsequently what has happened now? Every single person has been spoken to by the High Command, whether former PCC presidents, senior leaders. They've really gone the extra mile. So after that, I don't think it's very fair to kind of say that this decision is not a decision which has the support of all the leaders in the political party of the Congress party in Kerala.
So, what would Mr. Ramesh Chennithala be offered? Because he's someone very, very senior. And like Mr. Satishan said, he's not just a brother, he's been a follower of Mr. Chennithala. So, he will have to be assuaged in some manner, isn't it?
No, I'm sure. So you see, the High Command is very deeply aware of the of the seniority of Mr. Chennithala, and he also actually, I must tell you, I had a very close interaction with him on several occasions while in Kerala, and he was also the chairman of the campaign committee, and he did an outstanding job. But obviously, there can only be one person as the chief minister. So, given that situation and the fact that Mr. Chennithala was definitely going to be the chief minister in 2021 when the Congress party did not win that election. So, I think Mr. Chennithala is also large-hearted enough and broad-minded enough to understand that look, those were different circumstances, and the present circumstances are the different ones. So I think so long as, of course, he may find it difficult to accept, a nomination as a minister, but I don't know in days to come if he will actually change his mind. And he was also in charge of Maharashtra recently. So I think Mr. Chennithala has been a national figure in the Youth Congress and in the main Congress. So his contribution is required in various parts of the country. Maybe he would become in charge of Karnataka. Who knows?
You ran a very good campaign, which seemed to obviously resonate with the people. There was obviously you were also writing on the anti-Pinarayi sentiment, because of which you got probably the votes of some people suggest even LDF supporters otherwise. Uh, but the promises that you have made, one is the template that Mr. Satheesan has spoken about. The second is the Congress guarantees itself. You're struggling in a Karnataka or even a Telangana. Uh, and you've also spoken about the huge debt that Kerala has. How can you actually, election and campaign is one thing, but fulfilling them is altogether something else.
See, Umaji, I can answer this question because I've been on ground in Kerala for very long. And that's the reason I'm able to answer this question. Otherwise, if a person is not from Kerala and you ask this question, it's quite difficult. See, from what I've been able to see on the ground, whenever the CPM is in power for an extended period in time, including in the 1990s, there is a huge, efflux of people leaving the state. And there is a serious issue of brain drain which affects Kerala whenever the CPM stays in power for an extended period in time. This happened again last time in the 90s, and this is again happening now, right? In fact, students don't find it promising to study in Kerala anymore, right? So there is a serious problem on
I'm
ground
not
in.
so sure it's only an LDF regime issue, because history of Kerala suggests that there has been a history of youngsters moving out in search of better opportunities as well. Of course, it's not just because of jobs not being here, but also because of better opportunities abroad.
No, when I'm speaking of people moving from state to state, you will find that people do move from state to state, and that is a constitutional guarantee. There is no problem with that. But this kind of a mass exodus, right, is seen in Kerala only when the CPM is in power for very long. And you can contest what I'm saying, but this is what my reading of the situation tells me, that last time around in 1990s they were in power for 8 to 9 years, and the very same situation had arisen, right? And then subsequently, when they had shorter stints in office, then for 5 years and like this, then this kind of a thing didn't happen. But whenever there's a Congress regime, somehow the Congress is able to create some kind of magic which brings people back, which brings hardworking hands back to Kerala. I don't know how we are able to achieve this, but we do, right? So I think the it's a very important thing that this kind of a governance, which you said, no, it's faltering in Karnataka and in Telangana. I honestly, I'm in Karnataka and I don't see any truth in what you're saying, that we are struggling and all that. Nobody's struggling there.
Financially, yes, isn't it? I mean, financially, whether it's the Chief Minister of Telangana repeatedly talks about how difficult his situation is. And
No,
it's an
no,
open,
that's
it's
right.
not even a
It
secret.
no, no.
It's not even an open secret. It's
No.
open.
I'm not saying that it's not a difficult situation, but chief ministers have been managing. Mr. Siddaramaiah has been managing effectively for the last 3 years. You can't say he's been struggling. He looks very calm and composed and relaxed. So I think, see, there are certain promises which we have made to the electorate, and we will keep them, right? And we will keep them, and we will also run a tight ship. This is what we have shown in both Karnataka and in Telangana, and I think this assurance stands good for Kerala as well.
Okay. On that note, best wishes. Many congratulations once again for a stupendous performance in Kerala and having your chief minister in place now. And that magical touch, you spoke about magic required. Yes, magical touch once again, hopefully, to put Kerala on the path of progress and fulfilling the aspirations of the people. Thank you so much, Mr. Brijesh.